sighted the microphone from the green light to the speed trap. Gregarino and Jody calls them as they seize them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinion, and outright nonsense regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp with mechanical trickery never before broadcast over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrilled to the explosive tension as Ray and Joe cuss each other down track, barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and so much more at high noon this Sunday on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and the Live Eat, Ray Carino and Joe D. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Hempstead Turnpike to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the no parking on the expressway and no express service on the Parkway sign. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass.
Together again, my tears have stopped falling. The long, lonely night.
Oh yes, the long nights are over. My tears have stopped falling.
You are truly gifted picking this stuff out. You know that?
Back together again.
Yes, that's it. The band's back together again. With
my co-host, compadre, wingman, Joe D. This is Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show here on Long Island.
I bet you haven't used that pronunciation in a while.
I've been very careful, and I'll tell you why in a little while. But you can call us at 516-572-7440, or check us out on the web, motormouthradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Motormouth Radio, or on Instagram, Joe's favorite, real_Motormouth Radio.
Underscore.
And Facebook, too. You can follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, no live today because we got some technical things to figure out over there with that.
Exactly.
But we'll be back.
Right. But I am back after my week-long sojourn down south. I was taking a little vacation with my wife. And, of course, our Padre Chris Switzer was here last week.
Yeah. Yeah. I still got to take an occasional blood pressure reducer there. I just kind of...
You must have had so much fun.
It was a riot. Yeah, you haven't... That's right. You haven't gotten to hear the show yet.
No.
It was... Wow, I'm still pumping from that. You know what I mean? Because... You're two very different people, Ray.
Well, yeah, and exactly. You got that right. And I haven't had the good fortune to do a show with Chris since the show reorganized a couple of years ago. So I was actually jealous of you, even though I was having fun down in the South. I was. Yeah. We tried to catch it, and that's what we did. You can go to. Many ways. HPC Online, you can go to nccradio.org. That was the one I forgot.
Right.
You can go to our website, motormouthradio.com, and there's a listen tab.
There's a link there. Yeah, the listen link, yeah.
My wife and I, we were on I-81 somewhere down in probably Virginia, Tennessee, when the show was starting. And we got it off the phone internet, but it was spotty. It wasn't... It wasn't quite that bad. Oh. I was getting some weird
I was just
stuff.
stuttering.
Yeah, that's more like it. But people should go back, go to the website and listen to that show because I haven't even heard it yet. I'm gonna do that myself probably later today.
Yes. Now I was reminded how much fun it was to hang out with Chris and actually listen to when you guys had the repartee going on there.
Right.
Yeah, and I think he's still recovering as well.
He probably is. So let's go to the phones and see who's on the line and say hi. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Joe. It's the Bronc. How you guys doing today?
Bronc, what's up?
Bronc, I think I owe you a phone call. I just, as I said, I just got back from vacation and I saw there was a message, but I'm sorry I haven't gotten to that.
Well, I'll get you this afternoon or sometime tonight, or call me when you get in. I'll be home all day.
Okay.
We just finished Hot August Nights, and I had another incredible first-time experience. I got to be one of the drivers at the Mag Auto Group auction that they had here for 3 days.
Oh, cool.
Which is similar to like a Mecum and a Barrett Jackson kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it is one of the most incredible experiences, whether you're going as a worker or as a participant, just to be there 24/7 during the whole application of the whole auction itself. It was just amazing.
Mm.
Yep.
So what did you get to drive?
I'm sorry?
What did you get to drive?
Let's see. I started off with an early. They had about 50 motorcycles, which some of them I never even heard of. So I drove a Victory. Actually, drove it on stage. Drove a Yamaha. Pushed a little mini bike. A couple of Corvettes, an anniversary model Corvette, Indianapolis Corvette, a 41 Ford pickup, a 55 Buick. 57 Oldsmobile, 66 442 with a tri-power, fully worked, modified 70 Charger. What else? Some of the cars I drove there. Oh, I drove a big box van. Never drove one of those things in my life before.
Talk about a kid in a candy store.
Sounds like when I was driving on my vacation.
Yeah.
Right, and then...
Go on.
They had the then during the week here, it runs about 10 days. You have the Hot August nights, so you get the opportunity. There was over, I guess about 6,500 different classic and custom cars throughout the whole town of Reno and Sparks. Everything is shut down for this event.
Yeah,
and then at night you have all the entertainment and the music and that kind of deal. So it was pretty interesting, to say the least. And the reason I called you, which would be interest to our listeners, is that I'm going to put you in touch with the owner of Mag Auctions, and it'll be a perfect show setup to do a live call-in show to say what it's like to get involved for the owner, for the buyers, for the participants, what's involved, and just great conversation. He's a great guy. The guy's name is Frank. So
yeah. Do they do stuff on the East Coast?
I'll talk to you later about that. Call me when you get a chance.
What does MAG Auction stand for? Is it an acronym or is it
Motor Auction Group?
Okay, got it.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a crow in front of that.
So evidently out here, it's a pretty big outfit. They're all over, I guess, the West Coast, as far as I understand. But he'll be able to give you more information about that.
It's kind of interesting because just before I left, the week before I left, the guys at the AutoZeum sent down 4 trailers of cars to the Mecum auction in Harrisburg in PA, and I got to see part of that on TV. So some of them sold, some didn't, of course. And I got a picture of those trucks, the Mecum trucks. Let me tell you, that operation is top class, man. And the drivers, we got to talk with those guys. They really know their stuff when they load those cars, and they have to, because some of those cars, I mean, they could load $1 million cars.
Right, we had cars up there that range, which was really good about this auction. Majority of the cars were drivers. There weren't like Barrett Jackson or high-end Mecum, where they're mostly trailer queens, where people buy them for investment. But these were really nice, clean, beautiful cars. And a lot of the owners, when you drive up, because you have to drive, you drive them down the staging, pre-staging, that kind of thing.
Right.
So you get to talk to a lot of owners about the car. You get the history, what was involved, what they did, and problems they have. So it's just a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And then the spectators, everybody's allowed to either get in the car, open the hood, look underneath, talk about it. So all you're doing is for 3 days, 10 hours a day, talking cars, nostalgia, performance, maintenance, problems, and then I'm not really a 30s or 40s kind of guy. I never really worked on them, outside of here or there at that point. But some of the interesting things of driving these things is just amazing.
Yeah.
This 155 I drove was absolutely gorgeous. It just came out of the show. It was 55 Buick. I forgot that the starter was under the gas pedal. You push the gas pedal all the way to the floor.
The button, right.
The starter button under the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And you don't think of these. 50 years later, you haven't worked on these things since you were a kid.
60.
Oh yeah, how do you start? Where's the key? Oh, it's a floor starter.
And Brock, let me take you ahead now. 60 years. The car that I rented to take down on this trip is a brand new VW SUV with it's got a transponder and no ignition key. You just push. You got to use the button. And I kept going for the column to turn the key.
Oh, that was the lower mile, because usually you get it the higher miles. You just get in and yell Achtung, and the car starts. Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, it's all a matter of get. And through the week, of course, you do get used to it.
Yeah.
But now you're getting another car. I mean, I drive the car I drive daily is a Mazda with a parking brake between the 2 bucket seats.
Right.
But then I get my 65 GTO. I go to cruise that. Now that's got a stick shift. Well, the Mazda has a stick shift too. But I always go for that parking brake. I'm like, oh damn it, that's a console door. It's not a parking brake. We're definitely creatures of habit, is what it is. You
get used to a certain thing, especially when driving similar cars. The handbrake's here, or you have a foot pedal here, that kind of thing. Right. And then you get into one of these exotics. Like I drove this Porsche SE. Okay, it was a they did Carrera modifications on it, and the thing wouldn't idle. Started up wouldn't idle. Right down between the bucket seats, they had a throttle lever, which is similar to a choke, but it was hooked up to the carburetor. So when the car is cold, you pull this little throttle lever up to get whatever RPM you want, where the car would idle smooth until she warmed up.
Okay.
Which I never knew about.
Wow.
You know, I'm looking around. Well, there's got to be a choke, and I see a little button that says throttle on it. I said, okay, pull it up, and the car idled and ran beautifully.
It's pretty, you know, on that note, it's funny. One of the cars that went was Mike's Rat Rod to the auction. Mm-hmm. And when I was working on that car, you know, the guy who had built it, and it got sold. So I was happy. But
I'm giving the blessing, right? The blessing thing.
The ignition key on the left side, and then there was a toggle. And as I worked on it, I realized, okay, that toggle switch is for the electric fuel pump.
Right.
So
okay.
I wrote a note on a piece of paper just while it was at the AutoZeum, you know, toggle up equals fuel pump or something like that.
Right.
And I noticed at the auction it was still there. They left the note on there. I was like, that's actually pretty good because somebody wouldn't know. You know, they'd be trying to start it. The fuel pump is off.
Right. Well, this 40 truck, it was all original. It was a bar find. With the second owner.
Did you say
truck
bar
with a
find?
That's with a 3-speed.
Yeah.
Which was real interesting. You mentioned toggle switch. At the base of the steering column where it reaches the gauge panel, you had the key, which was in the steering column, which I never saw in 1940. It was an actual key in the steering column.
Yeah.
And then right above it at 12 o'clock on the steering column, there was a toggle switch.
Oh.
And that's how you turn the engine on and off. You throw the switch to the right, it shuts the engine off. You throw the switch to the left, okay, and then it would start.
And that was factory? That was a factory?
That was a factory installed, and it had an actual start button on the dashboard, which they're using now. So all the new technology that they have now is all based on technology they had 50, 60, 70 years
Everything
ago.
old is new again. You know, it's kind of like, I was thinking about that myself, too, especially with the start-stop stuff. And, you know, I know the one thing that would always screw me up is if they threw me like a Model T or a Model A. You got the ignition advance, and I've driven one. You know, my friend let me drive his car, but he was sitting next to me telling me what to do. And at this point, I wouldn't remember. I'd get out and just push it.
So I wouldn't drive any of the 1930s because you got the spark advance and you got the throttle on the steering column, and it's like, you know, jump around, stand on one leg, wig a chicken over your head, sneeze twice, fart once, and then you start the car.
But you do that anyway, so what's the difference?
I do it anyway, you know, my age, right? I have to do it in order to get into the car.
Right. Well, that's good. You had a good time, Brock. That sounds like a great time.
Great thing there, you know, so it's really a lot of fun. And I think definitely get in touch later. I have the guy's information. He's looking forward to talking to you guys.
Okay.
So I'll be home all day, so when you get in, give me a buzz, and then we'll just take it from there.
Will do. Thanks a lot, Brock.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Good
Joe, you take care of yourself. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, take care.
So long.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was the Bronx from Nevada. Of course, Hot August Nights is a huge show, which I meant to ask him if it was. They did Street Vibrations, the motorcycle show, I think, right after that.
Right.
Big stuff.
I mean, I know he mentioned it, but like at some other point, but I can't remember now. But that's okay. Sounds like he had a good time, and other people let them touch. Let him touch their cars.
Well, at the auction, that's what happens. Because once you bring it in there, you kind of you're like, okay, you know, it's like hands off. I mean, if it's a car like that you're flipping or that you really don't have a personal tie to, it's like, yeah, sure. But what if that was a car? Many of these cars were built by guys like us,
sure,
and had a lot of love and care into them. And now it's like you see in some auction jockey, it's like. And you may get it back because it may not sell. So you're like, hey, what do you do? No, do that. Do this.
What are those footprints doing on the windshield?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hand marks. So we got 2 weeks to catch up with. I do, at least with you. I don't know what you've been up to. I know there's been a lot of wicked weather. We had a lot down there too. My daughter was watching the place and told us about some hellacious.
Oh yeah, no, the sky has opened up several times, and I thought I was. Going to become a boat mechanic, but
right.
But it seems to be like in and out, you know, and thankfully. And
has it impacted any kind of car work that you had to do?
Well, luckily I've been inside, you know, because rolling around. Like I said to one shop yesterday, they had this Jeep. And I was like, I went on Friday night while it was still clear, and I had to do a speedometer gear thing, which I'll discuss in a minute. But basically, I was like, I am not rolling under this car tomorrow in the rain.
Yeah.
So give me a piece of cardboard. Now, luckily, it was a lifted truck, and I got under there and did what I had to do. But the next day, I would have needed a snorkel.
Yeah, right. On the dashboard.
Really?
If you want to see snorkels on the dashboard, go to MotorMouthRadio.com. You can catch the video that's up there from Laura's Corvette experience.
Yes.
And it's also on...
it's all over the place.
It is all over the place. It's getting a lot of traction. But for now,
She's become famous.
Yeah, absolutely, as she should. We're going to go take a break. We're going to go listen to Joe Diffie, Joe, because this is something that I saw a lot of